Now then, people, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this. It's time for another Leeds United update. The latest Leeds, it's probably the last one we'll see of this because the transfer window is finally, yes, finally slammed shut. Leeds United will welcome Wilfried Gnonto, the new signing, 18-year-old, bags of potential from FC Zurich. It's an exciting signing, of course it is, but there are many, many reservations, but we will get into it. But first of all, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, get your comments in and welcome Willy and Gnonto.
I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. So late last night, just as the deadline hit, Leeds United put in their cheat sheet, their deal sheet, and said, listen, there is still a deal to be done. And the club have now announced their 9th signing of the summer transfer window. It is for Willy Gnonto from FC Zurich, an Italian international nonetheless, the youngest ever scorer for that Italian national side. The fee is nice as well, just 4.5 million plus add-ons. There is a sell-on clause included in that as well. Obviously, if he reaches his potential, we know the current situation Leeds United club are in. Maybe at one point in time he may move on, and therefore we will owe Zurich some money for that, but it was necessary in order to get the deal over the line. The medical was already done yesterday over in Zurich, and the work permit sorted. I don't even know if he's actually in England right now. He's not going to be involved at the weekend, of course. He's not, probably hasn't even met his new teammates, but that'll happen over the next 24 to 48 hours. A little bit of history on Willy, a product of Inter Milan's academy. He spent 8 years with the San Siro club before making a move to FC Zurich back in 2020. When he moved to Zurich from Inter Milan in that summer of 2020, in total, he's played 74 competitive games for Zurich, recording 12 goals and 10 assists, and more recently won the Swiss Championship title back in the summer of 2022. He's clearly developed, from the player that initially left Inter Milan's academy and moved to Zurich into one of Italy's most exciting young talents. He was called up to the international side by Roberto Mancini, nonetheless. And he is actually the youngest ever goal scorer for Italy after scoring against Germany. They're no mugs as well. That was back in June in the UEFA Nations League, just aged 18 years, 222 days. And he actually broke a record in doing so that has stood since 1958. He has a total of 4 caps for Italy. And being that he's just 18, that's pretty decent stuff. He's a super exciting talent. That's clear. Yesterday, anyone that watched my transfer stream, we'll get into reservations in just a sec, but on the face of it, on him as an individual, super exciting talent, blessed with blistering pace, and he's an exceptional dribbler. Dan James for me wasn't that. Is this an improvement on Dan James? Time will tell. He's capable of going both on his right and on his left. And for us to get such an exciting prospect, it is a real coup. This is something Leeds United have been doing for the last few seasons under this current regime. You just have to look at the under-23s and some of the names that have come and have also been linked with top 6 clubs. And the reason we were able to get him on such a reduced fee as well, because he was in the final year of his deal at Zurich. Many, many positives to the signing. However, there are reservations. And I think a lot of us, see this. Leeds United were supposed to get this deal done in January, okay? We had already had an agreement in place with the player, with Zurich, etc., but the deal's been brought forward. So for me, straight away, that's a little bit of a reservation, because Leeds United clearly see Gnonto as not quite being ready. You could argue it maybe even as a panic buy. They'd let Dan James go. You couldn't have ended this window with 1 out and no one in. Quick, let's bring the Gnonto deal forward, because had they have succeeded with Hwang, had they have succeeded with Gakpo, with Dieng, with Ben Brereton Diaz, would Gnonto have been brought in now, or would we have waited till January? More than likely, we'd have waited till January. So was there a little bit of a panic buy linked to the transfer as well? And let's not forget, our very own Jesse Marsh said, when asked about Wilfried Gnonto, this is verbatim from one of his press conferences: we know him, we think very highly of him, and he's a young, talented player. He also added that he was more of a long-term project and not quite Premier League ready yet. That's the coach. We're now bringing him in and putting a hell of a lot of pressure on his shoulders, because we are crying out for a striker. You know, Rodrigo's going to be out for at least a month. Bamford is not yet fully fit. JUSTJOE arguably isn't a proper number 9 in this system. Marsh said that yesterday in his press conference. So it's a lot to lay at his door at just 18-year-old. Listen, he's clearly capable of dealing with pressure, because he's, played for his national side and scored within that side, and also got an assist, I think, on his debut as well. So clearly there are no mentality issues there. See, I just think, let's say we get to Nottingham Forest and we've still got issues with Bamford. Are we all happy or safe in the knowledge that, oh, it's okay, we've got Wilfried Gnonto leading the line for us in the Premier League? I'm not too sure. He feels for me one for the future. But listen, if you're playing for Italy, you ain't no mug. I understand that. I'm just have reservations about whether or not he's ready now. And the club clearly had them reservations because they were willing to do the deal further down the line. Jesse Marsh said he's not Premier League ready. But listen, if Leeds United's injury woes continue to hit, then he needs to get ready. And hopefully he will. You know, I'm excited by him. But overall, just the way it was done, listen, we did it to a death yesterday. Absolute idiocy and craziness of the highest order from the board. But it is what it is. I'm on board with Wilfried Gnonto, 100%. I just wish it was under different circumstances. But listen, I want him to make me eat my words. Let's hope he is Premier League ready and he does start against Forest and he gets a couple of goals and we're flying. We've got Cini and Harrison and Aronson. It's an exciting forward line. Let's not beat around the bush. But we have already a lot of youth. And then we're adding to that. I'm not actually adding to the first team, you know what I mean? But we'll wait and see. Listen, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you join us tonight for the Premier League preview. It's going to be a jam-packed one. We're going to re-look at our predictions after the transfer window is now shut. We're going to have a look at the games and talk about the transfer window as well. Who's the winners, who's the losers. So make sure you join us for that at 7 o'clock tonight. Listen, enjoy the rest of your weekend. If I don't see you, I'll be doing a watch-along and a preview in the morning for the Brentford game, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. I don't think I do it. Arsenal started like house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah.